So, in light of what's going on currently in Europe, mostly in the UK right now, it warrants going over some of Islam's history. And in the past, when I've written on this, I've gotten good reactions out of people's feedback about the writing, but I've also gotten a lot of threats and a lot of negative response, being told that I'm being inherently negative about a religion that's generally peaceful. I'm going to set out to dispel that myth as quickly as possible over the next series of posts that I want to do, which may run up to 30 or 40 posts. But it needs to be understood that most non Muslims believe that a Muslim becomes a Muslim by worshiping Allah. This is generally not true. You can worship Allah and still not be a Muslim. What do I mean by that? What it takes to be a Muslim is to worship Allah exactly the way Muhammad did. We know exactly how he worshipped his God because it was recorded in the Sirah and the Hadiths. He inevitably was murderous and he was easily angered. That is why the hot-tempered nature of a Muslim adherent is the way it is. They don't mimic, they emulate Muhammad. So when you see a Muslim who is quick to anger, he's simply imitating Muhammad, his spiritual icon. If historical biographies are even remotely accurate, the Prophet was a demonic, ill-tempered thug. There is not a true Muslim alive that does not know a detailed history of Muhammad, at least not a honest-to-goodness Islamic adherent. People that only understand the Quran without knowing other aspects and supporting documentation are only seeing the tip of the iceberg with Islam. What lies beneath is vastly more dangerous than what is currently being seen by the Western world. That is because, like icebergs, there are two aspects to Islam, and the more powerful and pervasive of the two is the one that's mostly out of sight 99% of the time. To begin with, we have to get a hint of it through the lands where ISIS resides and other places like Al Qaeda, and where Sharia law has been instituted as the lex terra, or the law of the land. Just as we will now see Afghanistan sink back into its old ways now that the United States has left it under the Biden administration, it will become a demonic breeding ground of killing and training of killers, with $83 billion worth of equipment left behind. Islam is a militant entity. More on these type of comments later. One of the things I will also do in this time is to deposit scriptural passages from the Bible in relevant places to offset what is clearly not scriptural in Islam, or just in some cases it's just plain evil, mostly to show the contrast between what is right and what is clearly wrong in Islam or Sharia law. And I will try to make sense of it in our Western way of thinking.